series was in need of something dramatic after two rather boring draws in Jamaica and Trinidad. Well, Barbados certainly provided that. On a heavily grassed pitch, which looked like it would assist the bowlers, Sachin Tendulkar won the toss for India, and he put the West Indies in. India made one change. Left-arm spinner Sunil Joshi was dropped in favour of the right-arm seamer Dodda Ganesh, whilst for the West Indies, an injury to Courtney Walsh meant that Brian Lara took over the captaincy. Ian Bishop came back into the side after injury instead of Walsh, and there was also a change of wicket-keepers, Junior Murray handing over the gloves to Courtney Brown. So let's join the action then early on day one with Sherwin Campbell and Stuart Williams at the crease for the West Indies.
And the first runs for the West Indies. Couple they get on the onside. So that should make him feel a lot better. He's the home boy, Campbell. And lots of people here from Trinidad as well. Always gets good support here at Kensington Oval. People from all parts of the globe come down to watch a test match in Barbados. This is an Easter weekend, and we should have a packed house here during the weekend. And that's firmly punched off the front foot into the straight field. And they could run all four here if they push it, and they do that comfortably. So after the first over, good start by the West Indies, 6 for no loss. And this tall man should enjoy bowling on the surface. In the air on the onside, some more runs here for the West Indies. Chase for Ganesh, the ball might just win. Yes, it does. So the first boundary for the West Indies. The earlier one was all run, but this went into the fence.
Grobiller just going on the wrong line on this occasion, slanting it in towards Stuart Williams. Too much on the legs. See him just wobbling about a bit there, not really as upright as it could be, and flicked away.
Edged and well taken by Mohammad Azharuddin, just carrying to him, and that's a good catch by the former Indian captain, and India strike early.
Azharuddin has taken some brilliant catches in his career. This is another very good one. The ball was dying, it was on its way down, but a pretty good delivery from Venkatesh Prasad. Ball going away from the right-handed batsman. Those are perfect deliveries, and look at that. He had to go right down by his bootlaces to take that one. Excellent catch and excellent delivery. West Indies lose their first wicket with the score on 10.
So Shivnarayan Chandrapal, he comes out in a position that's not foreign to him. West Indies losing an early wicket. Sherwin Campbell. This is how he was dismissed.
That's an excellent delivery. Pitched just in line with the off stump, going away. He had to play. Ball just found the outside edge. Good bounce as well. But look at that catch. It was certainly on the way down when it got to Mohammad Azharuddin. Excellent catcher. Or an excellent fielder. He's good anywhere.
And first runs here for Chandrapal. Nicely stroked on the onside. There is no mid-on. And a long chase, but only in vain. Ball just reaching the fence. So the first boundary for Shivnarayan Chandrapal. And the ground here at the Kensington Oval, bathed in sunshine. Nice and sunny. Williams now on strike.
So Stuart Williams pretty much at one end before this over. Now Venkatesh Prasad has an opportunity to bowl at him. He bowls the away swinger and leg cutters quite well, Venkatesh Prasad. Obviously, It will be a bit more dangerous against the right-handed batsman.
Again, runs for Williams on the onside. Very little cover for Prasad there.
Well, Venkatesh Prasad bowled so well in the first 2 test matches, but I get the feeling that he's looking a little bit jaded in this test match. This is the first morning of his 3rd test. Very lively pitch, lots of grass, lots of movement. It doesn't quite seem as if he's running in as hard as he ran in the first 2 test matches, not bowling as quickly. Action looks okay. I don't think he has lost anything with the action, just that doesn't seem to be too much power there.
He's gone here, loud shout for catch behind. Barker not interested. The Indians think they'd got him. Might just have missed the outside edge. We'll have to take another look. Again, beautifully bowled by Prasad.
Brilliant bowling by Prasad. You'll have to listen to this carefully. Well, there definitely was a sound. And the only thing close to the ball was the bat.
In the air and put him down. Difficult chance, flew away at enormous pace. Williams goes hard at those drives. And a big moment for the Indians. It's 26 for 1.
Yes, Williams going for the big drive, and this one would have traveled at many miles an hour. Difficult catches these. These catches stick in your hand. You've got to time your jump right. Lakshman did all the right things, but the ball didn't stick. He timed his jump right.
He did. I think it just was too quick. It seemed to get big on him too, almost climb on him with the hurry up it got off the edge of the bat. Because Williams, look at the follow through. He's given it everything. And it's almost as if Lakshman has to try to double back at the last minute, readjust the position of his hands. Safe. Nothing at all convincing about it from Chanderpaul, but that's a measure of the frustration good bowling can put a batsman under on a pitch like this. He just has to find a release if he can.
Awkward for a bowler to run against the follow through. Chanderpaul never quite getting hold of that short pitch delivery. Seeing that there is no mid-on, he went for the big pull shot, never in control. Ball just brushing the fingertips of Venkatesh Prasad. See where the ball has hit the bat.
It's close. Probably got an inside edge to it. There may have been a hint of the ball going down the leg side as well, but it's a clever bit of bowling from Prasad, and it was half a yard quicker as well.
Yes, it was. He's noticed that Chanderpaul is walking around quite a bit, and it's only the angle that would have saved Chanderpaul. It looks pretty close from here.
Well, I'm not sure that got a very good bounce from Prasad, and I think he probably took an executive decision for his team that he was better off out of the way of it.
Executive decision or not, he's got to be fired by the chief executive for not putting everything behind it. If he was the bowler, he would expect the fielders to put everything behind. And although it was an awkward bounce, maybe Venkatesh Prasad should have tried a little bit harder. Awkward bounce, yes, look at that.
Well, I think you're being tough as old boots on him there, Sunil. If he gets clocked on the knee with this seam attack, they are struggling. And I think he probably thought to himself, but if it goes into my hands, that's great. but it ain't hitting any other part of me. In the air and out this time. No bother at all. Williams has been dragged into the drive. Toda Ganesh has got a very big breakthrough, and VVS Lachman has made up for the earlier error.
Well, this is exactly what I was talking about. That one mistake and you can be back, although Stuart Williams was lucky when Lachman dropped him off Kuruvilla. This is a very, very well bowled outswinger, just inviting the batsman for a drive, a regulation catch to VVS Lachman. Ganesh takes a wicket. Stuart Williams is out. And the West Indies are 40 for 2.
So a big responsibility on Brian Lara in his first Test match as captain, leading the West Indies in the absence of Courtney Walsh. Failed a fitness test yesterday, and really there was not much hope that he would have played in this match, but they left it until this morning until they announced that. So Brian Lara, the vice-captain appointed for this series and leading the West Indies for the first time in a test, and he comes in at 40 for 2. A lot of work to do. This outfield is quite fast. It's a long chase for Prasad, and won't overhaul it. That ball didn't lose any pace across the ground. It's been rolled a lot, this outfield, and they're getting full value for their shots.
And as everybody knows, who's been here to this ground, it goes downhill a bit on that side, on the right-hand side of your screen. It goes downhill and it keeps on running away from you.
And pulled away by Lara. This should go into the fence for 4. No problem at all in dispatching that one. It's quick to rock back on that back foot and help it around square leg.
He had been patient for a long time, but now he's got the measure of the pitch. He sees this one short, and although it's outside the off stump, he's covered it very well.
And that's nicely picked away on the onside by Chandrapal. It seemed as if he heard that call of no ball. Just went through with a shot. And 4 nice runs on the onside.
Easier to pick up a no ball off a spinner than off a quickie with the front foot no ball rule. See Chandrapal looking to play defensively, then as soon as he heard the no ball call, lifting it over mid-wicket.
No problem, straight over the top. That was deliberate. That wasn't a fluke. But it's the first time he's looked to play a particularly aggressive shot. It wasn't fluky, just hit it on the up over the top. I don't think it's a shot you or I would have chosen, Ravi, though, but for him, not a problem.
Yes, he's waited for a long time to seize on an opportunity. He saw one there. And the good thing for Lara there is that he went through with a shot, even though he wasn't to the pitch of the ball. And this will be another boundary through third man. So consecutive boundaries for Brian Lara.
Well, if you hang around long enough, you're going to get the odd thick edge or two. But again, he's allowed to play off the back foot. I'd much sooner, if I was captain like Tendulkar, I'd much sooner be saying to the bowlers, pitch it up. I'd sooner you get driven, even if it's driven over the top of cover like the previous delivery, than allowing him to play back and wait for the ball. You just get that much more time. You're in a better comfort zone when you're playing off the back foot.
Edged and gone. That's a big wicket. The one they wanted. Brian Lara has edged to first slip. And what happened there? Prasad pitched the ball up.
Well, he did make something happen eventually by pitching the ball up. If they could only do it more often, I'm sure that cause more problems. You must make the batsman get on the front foot. You can't afford to allow them the luxury of playing back. Just a little bit of movement, cutting away off the seam. I don't think first slip is going to miss that from Brian Lara. 88 for 3.
So Carl Hooper comes out to the middle. And he's here because this is a body blow for the West Indies.
Well, it was perfect, wasn't it? Off stumpish, made him play on the front foot and just left him enough.
Oh, that's a really good shout again, and Kuravilla can't believe it. Sunil Gavaskar alongside, but he's got the finger up. Umpire Gavaskar, tell us about it.
I'd like to see the slow-mo replay, of course, but because Chandrapal moves across, even before you see the replay, I think that he might have been in front. Look at it, it's pitched line to line, and it would have knocked the middle stump out. Absolutely no question. The ball didn't even have that much bounce. He's playing within his crease. It's pitched on the middle stump. It has just about straightened up, and you can see the leg stump from there, and that's an indication that it would have knocked the top of the middle stump.
I've got to say, Umpire Gavaskar, I'm with you on that one. Lloyd Barker is with us, and he comes at it from a different height, of course. He's looking at things right down at pitch level, and our camera is well above pitch level. Hooper's on the hook stroke, and it's a good ground to do it as well. It's short down to the standard backward square leg, and no mistake from Carl Hooper.
Mistake from Abhi Kuravilla, of course, because he's got upset that he didn't get the decision in his favour. He's tried to enter spleen by bowling a short ball. You don't need to bowl short deliveries because you're giving the batsman that much more room, that much more time to see the ball, and he's paid the penalty for it. Gone for 4 runs.
It's a beautiful stroke from Carl Hooper. The bouncer and the half volley, and both treated with equal disdain. West Indies are 105 for 3.
That'll go all the way. A local toss, just a sweetly timed off drive by Hooper. Kuravilla on his hands and knees.
Kuravilla being very smart there. Better to be on your hands and knees than standing up and having to chase. It would have been in vain anyway. That was beautifully timed by Carl Hooper. Beautifully placed as well. Has been a very tough grind for Shivnarine Chandrapal in this innings. Got to the crease with 1 wicket down for just 10 runs on the board, and has seen 104 more runs being added, and is still there. Excellent test average. But as we keep on saying, there's one flaw being no centuries yet.
Outfield is fast, and Kuravilla has had a lot of bowling to do during the course of the day and can't make it.
Don't think Shivnarine Chandrapal would say that was a perfect shot, but it was well enough placed. Obviously didn't time it all that well. Went in the air for a very long time, but into the gap. Man at mid-on. Is wide, but not wide enough.
And here is Dada Ganesh.
Not carrying on this occasion that outside edge.
Ideal replay there. Watch that bottom hand. Slackened. And the ball will drop. If you go with it with stiff hands, it's going to carry. Gone. Caught behind. Ganesh picks up his second wicket. And Hooper disappoints his many supporters here, but not those. West Indies are 118 for 4.
It has been a bit difficult for these batsmen out there scoring, and I think Carl Hooper saw this one short and wide and thought, this can be 4 runs, I'll cut this away. It bounced a little bit higher than they expected and took the top edge. Very disappointed. Carl Hooper was looking quite good at the crease. It's 118 for 4.
So India have taken the initiative here with this wicket.
Just a bit too much bounce there for Carl Hooper. Ganesh hitting the seam, deviating a bit away from Carl Hooper and just brushing that top edge on the way through to Mungia.
Cracked it away. That's another 50 for Chandapal. That's his 14th half century in Test cricket. And a lone spectator carrying the Guyana flag comes out to celebrate the occasion. He's exactly 50.
That's Chandrapal, of course, not the fan. And hopefully, as far as Chandrapal is concerned, this will go on to 3 figures. West Indies certainly need it.
Prasad now comes in to Roland Holder. And it's snicked away along the ground. We'll go for 4. There's no third man. He's relatively new to the crease. They've got 3 slips in the gully and an edged drive along the ground between third slip and gully for 4. 137 for 4. Correction, 131. Looking for the drive and bisecting third slip and gully. So 131 for 4 in the commentary box. Mark Nicholas, and with him, Geoffrey Boycott.
Thank you very much, Tony. And little bits of luck are needed by a batsman in situations like this. And that's a super catch. That is a terrific effort from Mohammad Azharuddin, who has caught quite magnificently all tall.
Well, there are certain players in the world that when you do nick it as a batsman, you don't want it to go to them. Bram McMillan's one in South Africa. So is this guy. He catches them easy. When you think there was one like that earlier on that was dropped by the opening batsman, Laxman, but he caught it easy, didn't he? Roland Holder's gone. If you nick it to Azhar, 131 for 5.
Courtney Brown is the new batsman, one Barbadian coming in to replace another. Roland Holder is the one that's left us.
That's not a very good shot, that brilliant catch, but after you've talked about Azhar catching, you've then got to assess the type of shot that was played. And when you think Brian Lara was got out by a fine delivery playing defensively, this is an extravagant shot when you've got 120 on the board. It's wide, it's out there, you know the ball's just bouncing a little bit, you know it's just doing a little bit off the seam, and that's a poor shot. And there have been 3 of those played today. Stuart Williams, it's a sloppy shot, Carl Hooper's and Roland Holder's. You must make the bowlers work jolly hard for the wickets like Lara did on this sort of pitch.
More runs for the West Indies, and one just wonders if it's necessary to have 2 fielders saving one on the leg side when the ball keeps scootling away to third man for 4.
Well, it's one of those positions that in the modern game they just don't use very much anymore, the third man.
Courtney Brown is at his very best when he's cracking the ball through the cover region.
Well, I don't think any bowler or captain likes to see his bowlers getting smashed around, but it's better it's full than short.
Again, that's well run. Perhaps they picked their fielder. Sidhu not the fastest in the Indian team, and he had to get around the ball as well. He's a right-hander.
Well, Jat single that Navjot Singh Sidhu, as you said, had to get round. It was to his left. And yes, he's not the quickest of the Indian fielders. But Chandrapal in particular is a very good judge of a run. He and Lara, he and Hooper run very, very well between the wicket, just tapping the ball around the fielders and going for quick singles.
Well, that was very short indeed, and Chandrapal was waiting for it.
I'm not sure he got quite hold of it because he seemed to hit it up in the air. He was waiting for it. He's very much a back foot player and uses the bottom hand well. But it was in the air for a long time and not too far away from Anil Kumble at mid-on. The ball angled into his body. Safe anyway.
And this time, that misfield will give him a boundary. Just getting a bad bounce there, Rahul Dravid.
It is a bit dry, certain parts of this outfield. And when it's this dry here in Barbados, it does get a bit bouncy. Awkward bounce there, the ball hitting this hard surface and bouncing awkwardly for Rahul Dravid.
And this time he's found the gap. It's a lovely cover drive. 4 of the best for Brown, 176 for 5, the West Indies.
Most unusual fielding position that we can see VVS Laxman in there. He's at a very short, close point. This is because Courtney Brown drives at the leg breaks of Kumble, and he does so with an open face and quite loosely. And sometimes he hits the ball high up in the air. It's the Indian captain Tendulkar, and they're the safest hands around. And it's the end of Brown, who's hit against the spin and paid the price.
Well, it's great joy for the Indians because they've earned that by putting him under pressure with his close-in fielders. Tendulkar kept the men up. Kumble bowled it, and then he made a lot of ground. The ball coming not quite over his shoulder, but it was a nice catch in the end. And always a little awkward, and they earned that with some good cricket, did India. 187 for 6.
Ian Bishop, the tall Trinidadian, who's back into the side because of an injury to Courtney Walsh, is new to the crease, and he replaces the Barbadian Courtney Brown.
Well, you've then got to ask yourself, is that a sensible shot at this stage of the proceedings? I don't think it is. Lovely cricket from Tendulkar and his players to put him under pressure. But surely the tail enders, oh, careful. He's quick, young Chandrapal. Surely the tail enders should be playing for young Chandrapal. They shouldn't be playing too many extravagant shots. He's the key to them making 250 or not.
Chandrapal suddenly sees the chance of a run, but Bishop hasn't responded to it, and the reason that Bishop hadn't responded was because of the hint of hesitation in Chandrapal's call, and probably too because Tendulkar was the fielder. Tendulkar's quick in the first 2 or 3 yards across the ground. It's the best effort from Chandrapal, and this knowledgeable crowd here, they know that, and they will be urging him to 17 more runs. That's very well played from Bishop. Good delivery from Kumble. but it was angled into that area quite deliberately.
Very good cricket there. He just was playing forward and the ball started, he just offered to turn on him and he just opened the face.
Bowled in, and nicely set up by Prasad, and the virtue of a full length.
Well, once you're bowled out and the castle's knocked down, you can't say much about that. Very full, never really got out of the blocks, did he? You see how he fell forward because he never got that left foot forward, which he normally does. Forgot himself, Prasad bowled a full length delivery and he's gone. 193 for 7.
Veteran now of 68 test matches, 33 years of age. Some say he's not what he was, but there's a lot left in Curtly Ambrose. Wouldn't be surprised if this pitch doesn't bring it out in him. He's now at the crease with the bat. Here's the end of Ian Bishop.
Well, he just forgot the one thing that makes him a reasonably decent tail ender. That's moving the left foot forward. He gets stuck in chewing gum in the crease, back foot back, the left foot goes nowhere but just stays on the batting crease, and he knocked over by a very full length straight delivery.
The seamers have been in operation for virtually the whole day. Kumble just 9 overs so far. 2 from Ganguly at medium pace, and all the rest bowled by Prasad, Kuravilla and Ganesh. And with me in the commentary box, it's good afternoon to Michael Holding. You must be proud of this performance by a young West Indian player.
Well, it's a good fight back by the West Indies. I think a lot of people seeing the early wickets fall, especially with Lara and Hooper going down quite cheaply, that the West Indies would have been bowled out already and they wouldn't have gotten this far. 200 now posted, and they still have 3 wickets in hand. Still a possibility of getting somewhere in the region of 250.
And this is crashed off the back foot through the offside for 4. The crowd really loved that.
That's the first really bad ball that Anil Kumble has bowled today, and Curtly Ambrose took full toll, waited on it and crashed it through the offside.
And he decides to go over the top. He loves playing that shot, Curtly Ambrose, especially if the ball is pitched up. He's looking for 3 here, he'll have to hurry, and he gets it. So Chandrapal gets the strike. So the pressure is back on. Not only on the players, even on the spectators. You can see it on their faces. He's a young West Indian hero, Chandrapal, but still to reach a 3-figure mark in Test cricket. And to add to the pressure, Sachin Tendulkar has decided to take the new ball.
Trying every trick in the book, Sachin Tendulkar. Added pressure of taking away the close-in fielders to prevent the singles. And now his last card, he's playing his last card now, the new ball. Second new ball being taken by India. Shrinarayan Chandrapal has been there since the first one, of course. So the score was just 10 when he got to the crease.
And he might might just get it this time. He's pushed it into the straight field. He hurries for one. Will he go back for the third? And he does. He decides to go for the third. And there are a lot of people running onto the field as well. It's Chandrapal's first Test match 100. And it's absolute chaos here at the Kensington Oval in Barbados.
I think from the ball left the bat, everyone was convinced that they would have gotten 3 with that. And the stampede started from well before the third run had started. A brilliant innings by Shivnarayan Chandrapal. West Indies certainly needed it. He got to the crease with just 10 runs on the board and saw lots of wickets tumbling at the other end. But he has held his end together in the end, helping himself to 3 figures.
Well, Michael, we still have to find Chandrapal. He's in there somewhere in the crowd. 363 minutes. He's batted a little over 6 hours. He's concentrated all the way. As far as he's concerned, I know that he would be feeling he still has a lot of work to do. Finally, he can breathe. Gets a chance to take some fresh air. Gather himself again. And play might just carry on a little while longer. And finally gets a chance to do that. This captain in this game, Brian Lara, first out there to give him a hand. And he'll be happy that he's at the non-striker's end for the moment. Get a chance to gather his thoughts. Gives the Kensington Oval a little kiss.
Oh, that's a cracking good shot. Ambrose has been trying to lock Ganesh over the top. Hasn't quite timed it as well as he did this time. But it's hard to understand why a man who's taken 4 wickets and has done such splendid work with the new ball is not being given use of the second new ball. Ganesh here being entrusted with the second new ball, and Ambrose quickly latching onto it and hitting it over the top. Once the Indians saw the layer of grass on the pitch, any thoughts they might have had of picking Sunil Joshi or even Robin Singh would have gone out of the window. And Ganesh has responded by taking 2 wickets.
No one down there, 3 runs. So Ganesh now just beginning to be expensive, showing some of his inexperience perhaps.
These runs are going to be expensive from the Indian point of view. It's a hard wicket, there's a lot of bounce in it, and they need to save every run and not concede runs like this.
Sidhu, the fielder, and he almost got Ambrose, but he'll get overthrows and that'll go all the way. Well, that's got the crowd to life bright and early. Sidhu, the fielder.
Well, this is a perfect example of stupidity. All youngsters should watch, unless you've got a real opportunity of running somebody out. Look there, he hadn't. Ambrose was just cantering in. There's no point in throwing at the stumps, because if the fielder misses it or it hits the stumps and cannons off, then you just give 4 extra runs away.
Abhikaravilla starts a new over to Chandrapal. No mid-off. Long chase here for Sidhu, and this outfield doesn't seem to have lost any of its pace from the first day. So they can go back for 3.
Well, not an area where he usually scores runs, but nice firm push. And the ball just tends to run away a little bit on that side of the pitch.
Well, that's not a firm push, that's a blow. A tremendous blow by Ambrose Shumenov.
Wow, what do you say about that? Whatever he did yesterday on his off day, he wants to do it more often. What a shot. Out. No problem. Bowled it in the right area often enough for both batsmen, and one of them will make a mistake. Well bowled, the youngster. Villa's got a wicket. Thoroughly deserved. Just outside that off stump look, tempting, and a neat catch at first slip. Sachin Tendulkar, the captain, but that's a good innings from Kirtley. I don't think you can blame him too much. I suppose the team would have thought, well, he's doing too well. We can't believe it, but 258 for 8.
New batsman is Franklin Rose, and as we've seen in the first 2 test matches, he's no rabbit by any means. 34 in the test match in Port of Spain. Well, well, well. Good morning, Mr. Rose.
Yeah, that livened up the crowd, didn't it? It was a funny shot anyway. It made it look a more difficult ball than it was. It just bounced a bit on him. This is the wicket. This one was right in the slot. That just bounced a touch, but tail-ender couldn't resist a little shot at it. Can't blame them for that. He's done pretty good. 37 runs. He settled for that every time he batted.
Oh, he's found the gap, and he's timed it sweetly. That's 4.
Now that's a lovely shot. I want to watch this again because you don't see him play this very often. I was mentioning on the first day, if he could play shots like this more often, front foot off drives, I think he'd get more centuries. But we've had to wait till his confidence is high and he's got 100 runs on the board before he's dared to stretch out effortlessly, I might say, and play it quite nicely. That's the shot he ought to practice a little bit more off-season. Become a little more fluent on the offside.
It's gone right through him. The hook shot, and he got too far across. It was travelling, but Prasad down there let it slip through.
Well, if you bowl leg side at Chanderpaul, I said he's going to whack you either way. Now, a little bit of inexperience there. He just got carried away, ran too far, and then he made such a mess of it. He was too far in front of the ball.
It's that area down the ground where Chanderpaul is good. He tends to hit it leg side of the stumps at the bowler's end, but he doesn't miss. Saw him play a lovely on drive in the previous over, and once you start to see the full face of Shivnarine Chanderpaul's bat, you know that you're going to have to work very hard to get him out.
It's what's been noticeable this morning is the way he's been getting onto that front foot. He was more or less stranded, rooted onto the back foot when he was playing yesterday on the first day. Wasn't quite prepared to get onto the front foot, but this is what confidence can do to you. 100 against your name, and he's now moving very confidently onto the front foot and playing those flowing drives.
It's a brilliant stroke. This is a very good charge being made by Franklin Rose, and it's been very good cricket all morning from the West Indies.
Well, Mark, in the old days when there wasn't too much of television and there were only press photographs, this was the photograph you often saw of the West Indian batsman. This is what I mean. These were the photographs that you saw of the 3 Ws playing this kind of a shot, and this is Franklin Rose over here. What a shot.
Here's Anil Kumble into the attack for the first time this morning. He's bowling at Chanderpaul. Paul is on the end of 3 fielders out deep on the leg side. It's another indication of the fact that India are very worried about him. He doesn't really hit the ball in the air a great deal. There's a deep backward square leg, mid-on down here on the fence, and a deep mid-wicket as well in front of the scoreboard. They're the 3 fielders out deep, 2 fielders saving 1, a square leg and a mid-wicket. Oh, the trouble, must be out, and is. Now, Paul had always decided there was 2 in that, and Rose had always decided there was 1. The problem was there was no communication between the 2 men.
Well, that's an unfortunate way to get out, but I do believe Franklin Rose said no as soon as he reached the batting end, because he'd seen Venkatesh Prasad come in quickly, and Venkatesh Prasad has got a very good arm. Paul knew that he could have made it because he's a very quick runner between the wickets, but Franklin Rose had said no straight away. I don't think Paul heard it, but Franklin Rose very, very unselfishly walking out, sacrificing his wicket, because Paul's the one with the 100 behind him. West Indies 290 for 9.
Mervyn Dillon, the Trinidadian, in his 2nd Test match, 22-year-old fast bowler, is the new man to the crease. Paul will be on strike, and Franklin Rose will be in the dressing room, bouncing his bat off all the 4 walls. Rose has been run out, and he may feel aggrieved because we're not sure it was his fault.
It certainly wasn't, because he was very quick to say no. There was 2 in it, because Paul's a very quick runner between the wickets. But when you have a tail ender who's not very certain about his own running, there you see, he had said no, but Paul quickly in there, because he's so quick. Look at the way he runs.
It's another deflection from Paul that runs away for 4. It's a bad line from Anil Kumble. I'm surprised that he's operating over the wicket at Paul. Really wants to be outside off stump from around the wicket. Let's have a look at the run out again. There are lots of things to look for. The first is that Paul would have made 2 easily himself. That's the key decision. Here's Paul. There's a no from Franklin Rose. That was also important, but also look at the work of Anil Kumble here, because there was a problem. He may well have knocked the bails off with his body, but he managed to arch his body and avoid doing that. Good cricket from him.
Certainly when the 5th wicket went down, not too many people were expecting them to get anywhere near to 300. Well, that now takes them to 298, just 2 runs short of that target, which I think would be an outstanding first innings score considering the pitch.
One mustn't forget, West Indies are playing 4 fast bowlers in this game, so they've got the ammunition to get after the Indians. There you see, outstanding performance by Paul. 137. He's got almost half the runs the West Indies have got, and he's still going strong. Loud shout, up goes the finger this time. So 5th wicket for Venkatesh Prasad, and the West Indian innings coming to an end. Just short of that 300-run mark, bowled out for 298. Merv Dillon, the last man, dismissed.
Well, Venkatesh Prasad certainly has done a lot of hard work. This was his 32nd over, and this was just the first innings. Brilliant returns though, 5 for 82 in 31 overs and 4 balls. Last wicket going down his, but Shivnarine Chandrapal undefeated on 137. Batted 446 minutes. That's a long time to spend at the crease, and brilliant knock. And look at that average, creeping up all the time. 54.8, 13 half centuries, and of course his first century here, this one against India at Bridgetown.
So the West Indies 298 all out, and indebted to the undefeated Shivnarine Chandrapal, his maiden Test match century, keeping the home side afloat. For India, no doubt about their hero Venkatesh Prasad, 5 for 82, and in the absence of Javagal Srinath, he led the Indian attack with real distinction. Right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, it'll be the highlights of the Indian first innings.
And now first runs for Sidhu as he plays it away on the onside. This could go all the way to the fence. It's a quick outfield. Holder gives up the chase. So Sidhu opening his account with a boundary.
Ian Bishop looking to keep the ball up to the bat, but on the wrong lines, straying into the pads of Navjot Singh Sidhu. And as Ravi Shastri said, it's a very, very quick outfield. Anything pushed past the inner field, more than likely will get to the boundary.
Just over the head of the keeper, and will go all the way. Difficult delivery, and just over Brown's head.
Well, that is an awkward delivery to play. This is shortish, all right, but look at the way it's climbed on to Navjot Sidhu.
Ball in. Latchman back. Should have been forward. Ambrose strikes. India 23 for 1.
Well, he has not been quite getting behind the ball. He's not been moving his foot across. And he's paid the price. This is the kind of pitch the West Indians love to bowl on. Look at him. He's nowhere behind, nowhere in line. And his off stump is pegged back by Curtly Ambrose. India have lost their first wicket for 23.
Rahul Dravid comes in to replace VVS Latchman.
Curtly Ambrose, after 2 short deliveries, pitching 1 up, and Lakshman on the back foot already in anticipation of another shortish delivery. Nowhere in line, loses his off stump.
Lovely little deflection, gets him off the mark. First ball. Fine shot. Everything right. A no ball, but everything right as far as Sidhu was concerned. Right on top of it, and 4 runs down towards the third man.
It could well turn out to be the last over before lunch, but Navjot Singh Sidhu realizes and sees a scoring opportunity. You won't get too many short, wide deliveries outside the off stump with no protection, no third man. So he's gone for it.
Last over before lunch. Everyone clustered around the bat with the exception of Ambrose. Ambrose gone into gully 9. That's another 4. So Sidhu has responded with aggression. The last over before lunch is yielding some valuable runs here for him.
Young Dillon obviously very excited at the bounce that the bowlers were getting before he came on to bowl. He's trying to get the same kind of bounce, but he's bowling it short, he's bowling it wide, and allowing Sidhu ample time to play his favorite shot, the cut.
Lovely stroke. So an expensive last over, and no playing for lunch here from Sidhu. He's had 3 boundaries. The field is up, and he's counter-attacked.
And a beauty, and he's gone. What a first delivery from Franklin Rose. Well, we said he might be a handful. Now that was too good for the Indian opener.
He's a happy man, Franklin Rose. This is a beauty. Well pitched up and just enough of the seam hitting the outside edge, and Courtney Brown doing the rest. How simple it looks sometimes. It's 42 for 2.
So out comes the Indian captain to the middle. Sidhu dismissed to the first delivery played after lunch. And this is going to be a testing time for him. His team is under pressure. 2 for 42. And it's Rose. And good afternoon, Mr. Tendulkar.
Well, certainly that was the wicket that was given out just now, and that does look a little bit dicey, doesn't it? Does seem as if the ball brushed the shirt on the way through. This close-up view will give you a better view. Missed the bat, brushed the shirt, well, possibly even the glove on the way through. Difficult to tell.
And pulled away. That's a top-class shot. And gets off the mark in fine style.
Can't afford to get too carried away, no, Franklin Rose, with the short deliveries. Again short, but not really bouncing very high at all. And that one dispatched quite comfortably by Sachin Tendulkar.
And Tendulkar's happy to get a ball to cut. That's light relief. Now Dillon's going to have to be careful here, because in the over prior to lunch he bowled some poor balls to an attacking field that Sidhu cashed in on, and Tendulkar's been under pressure. He mustn't release it.
Yes, he's bowling short and wide in much the same manner that he bowled to Sidhu. And Sachin Tendulkar, with his predominantly bottom hand grip, is very strong on the cut. Cannot afford to bowl short and wide to Tendulkar, or for that matter any test batsman.
It's a fantastic stroke. Nothing much wrong with the delivery. A little over-pitched. And Tendulkar was about as good as you could get against it.
Well, that had class written all over it. Any youngsters watching, this is the way to play the off drive. The head in line. Look at the foot to the pitch of the ball. Look at the follow through. Look at the balance, the transfer of the weight. There it is. Look at the way the weight is transferred onto the front foot. Superb shot.
That's the best of the lot. Of all of those 3 boundaries, that one off the back foot is brilliant and beyond what most other batsmen in world cricket can do.
Absolutely right, because this was not a bad ball. This was a ball which most batsmen in the world would have treated with respect, but Tendulkar has hit it for a boundary. Not too much of effort in that. Timing, look at that, just timing there, timing. This is magical stuff.
That was a very quick ball.
Not easy to play, this one.
Saw one like that this morning from Kuravilla to Rose. Would have hit just about the same spot and got the same reaction. It's a strange looking shot, but it'll go all the way. just beating Ambrose to the boundary. Didn't quite get hold of it as he wanted, but nevertheless 4 more, and that brings up the 100 for India.
Well, he could see the big gap. That was the important thing. As long as he got some wood on it, didn't have to time it perfectly. All he had to make sure is he got it in the gap. He could afford to hit it in the air because there was nobody nobody in the area to catch it. Yeah, smart thinking.
He's gone on to 42. 8th boundary.
Brilliant stroke. Fabulous stuff from Tendulkar. Just waited a fraction longer and timed it perfectly.
Well, they say the great ones placed their shots perfectly. Well, as Mark Nicholas said, he just waited a fraction longer to put it behind that man at point, and beautifully played. What a shot. He doesn't allow bad balls to go away unpunished, Tendulkar, and hits them pretty much where he wants to.
And he goes to 50. The Indian captain has played very, very well this afternoon.
Has produced some exquisite shots, Sachin Tendulkar. It wasn't only the fast bowlers that were asking for a nice pitch. Sachin Tendulkar himself said he wanted a nice pitch for the ball coming onto the bat, and he has shown his class.
The Indian flag is on the field, and it's brought there by a gentleman in multicoloured gear, and the other Indian supporters around the ground are delighted for Sachin Tendulkar. I think everybody is. He's accepted as one of the really great players in the world and one of the gentlemen of the game. And his recovery of form is a joy for anybody who loves their cricket. He's a superb player, Mikey, up there amongst the best.
Definitely amongst the best. Those aren't too bad either.
Tendulkar's on the hook, and this time there's nobody back. Lloyd Barker does the rest for you.
He made that look so easy, Sachin Tendulkar. Just a quiet swivel, and 6.
And that's even better. A wonderful stroke from Tendulkar, and no chance of mid-off cutting that off. To hit the ball off the back foot through extra cover is the sign of special batting.
You're seeing exactly why Sachin Tendulkar has been asking for pitches like this. Beautifully stroked through the offside. Getting up on his toes. He's not a very tall man, Tendulkar. Right up on the toes and punching it through extra cover. The running was just a formality.
And what a glorious square cut. That was a magnificent shot. Just crashed that through point.
Well, he's not missed much that he's had the opportunity to lay bat on. He may have missed 1 or 2 playing defensively, which he has, some good balls, but the opportunity to score, he's taken. He's not allowed the West Indies faster bowlers after the 2 early-ish wickets to dictate the course of the game. He's kept the scoreboard moving.
And again, this time straight to Ambrose. That single bringing up the Indian 150. Terrific reply this by the Indians after they lost 2 early wickets.
India building themselves into a pretty good position here. 298. Looked as if it would be a pretty competitive score. Well placed, lovely shot for 4. Picked the gap between those 2 fielders with precision. It's been a frustrating day for him, and as it has been for all the fast bowlers, but especially for him. Currently Ambrose now within 9 wickets of 300 in tests. Lovely shot. He's played it twice now, and that's his half century. And what a way to get it. Well played, Rahul Dravid. It's been a superb innings. He's been the real foil to his captain. He moves on to 51, 180 for 2.
Well, this is a terrific shot. It's not an easy shot to play, the on drive. But he's played it the second time of Carl Hooper, and he's played it with a straight bat.
Had a very good first test, man of the match in his debut test. 11 wickets in the Red Stripe Cup last weekend for Jamaica against the Leeward Islands. It's early in his career, but he'll know already that fast bowling is not always easy work. And especially when you bowl it short to Sachin Tendulkar.
Well, he's been quiet for a long time, Sachin Tendulkar. This is shortish. He's seen that there is a deep square leg on the fence, so he's played it a little early and played it wide of mid-on. What a classic shot this is.
That's great stroke from Tendulkar. Very, very late, and just a little twist of the wrists to guide the ball backward a point for 4 more.
He's so good with the placing of his shots, Sachin Tendulkar. And his timing isn't too bad either.
Brings up the 200 for India.
And that's a lovely cover drive for 4. Just leaned into it and found the gap on the offside.
Yes, it's so important when Carl Hooper's bowling that you don't hit him for too many per over. You just want to keep him on bowling.
Well, that goes through him. Bishop has beaten Tendulkar on quite a few occasions.
You get days like this as a bowler when every good ball you bowl, the batsman doesn't nick it, just keeps playing and missing. And then there'll be another day where every good ball that's bowled by Bishop, they'll nick it. I mean, nothing wrong with the quality of the good deliveries. I think he'll be a little frustrated by some of the bad ones, his ball. They've been rank long hops.
In the air and taken. So success finally for the West Indies. Just playing with the bat a little bit away from his body there, Tendulkar. And the West Indians have broken through. The Indian captain dismissed 8 short of his 100.
Well, it just threw him a little bit away from his body there, and it slipped off the face. They almost, not a big outside edge, but half face, half edge, and it was in the air long enough for the deep gully Campbell to catch it.
So the left-handed Ganguly comes out to the middle at the fall of Tendulkar's wicket. And this is how he was dismissed.
Well, you saw from that the ball was in the air such a long time. It was an acrobatic take, but I don't think it was that difficult to catch because he was up there a long time.
Oh, my goodness. He came in, looked as if he was going to get there, Roland Holder, then seemed to check himself before the ball dropped to the turf. Might have dived forward.
Did seem as if there was an opportunity here. A good bouncer from Ian Bishop. Roland Holder came charging in and then at the last moment just hesitated. Thought perhaps if he had dived at the ball, he would have had a chance.
That's a good response. It really wasn't a very good ball from Bishop by any means, but nevertheless, he'd been shaken up by that bouncer, Dravid. And in short, he's in position quickly.
Not as venomous a delivery as the one previously. This one not bouncing as high or coming at him as quickly. But a good shot. Getting on top of it and hitting it pretty quickly down into the ground.
That'll go through. There's no third man. Goes all the way. Snicked along the ground. So more exasperation for Curtly Ambrose.
How many times have we seen that happen? Ball always finding that gap that's left in the slip cordon. And the big man not amused.
Abai going straight through Brown. It's the first fumble we've seen from him for the day. Just a pure lapse in concentration. There was no reason he should have let that through.
I suppose you could say it has been a long day. Couldn't really see why that one missed. Didn't really swing after passing the bat.
And that should be 4 runs to Dravid. Bishop giving chase. The ball just beating him into the fence. Attempted Yorker there from Ambrose. And Dravid taking it nicely on the full.
Well, Dravid picked up this full toss quite easily.
He's gone. Mervyn Dillon does exactly what the West Indies would have wanted today. Ganguly touching the catch to Brown. 253 for 4.
Well, this was his problem in South Africa. Sourav Ganguly was poking at deliveries outside the off-stump. Once again, you can see the back foot hasn't quite moved across. Awkward delivery, no doubt. but one that he could have left well alone. He's out for 22. India have lost their first wicket today. They are 253 for 4.
New batsman is the most experienced of the Indian batsmen, Mohammad Azharuddin, and he comes in to replace Ganguly.
This is an awkward delivery, all right, but you can see over here Sourav Ganguly poked at it, played at it. He could have left it, he could have dropped his wrist. He's played so far away from his body at a ball which was above his waist. When a ball is above your waist, most batsmen find it difficult to control it.
Loud shout here for leg before. Everyone going up there. This is going to be close because Azharuddin wasn't playing all that far forward.
Yes, he just seemed to shuffle across his crease. He wasn't really pushing that left pad of his a long way forward. It is beginning to come forward now and just possibly hitting him outside the line of off stump, but that's a slim possibility. That seems as if it hit him quite on that off stump line. And as you can see there, he was nowhere near being forward.
Well, certainly no inside edge, and to me, it looked to be on line. That is very, very close. That would have castled the middle stump out of the ground.
25 runs, the difference between the two sides. West Indies still lead. That is beautifully bowled. Bishop has bowled a succession of good outswingers that have missed the outside edge. And it's just starting to get to him.
Yeah, but he's got to have patience and keep bowling them. On a pitch where there's something there for the seamers, you can't expect every ball you bowl to be a hand grenade. You know, you've just got to have some patience. Batsmen are not going to nick all those. It's moving off the seam, it's bouncing quite a bit. There's a lot there for the bowlers. You've got to expect that they're going to play and miss a number. What you've not got to do is give them easy balls to hit, which they did yesterday.
Got him, well done, Bishop. He deserves it. It's the end of a long, long resistance for Rahul Dravid.
Well, he didn't get the nick that he expected, Bishop, and thought he deserved, but he got a wicket. That's just by pitching the ball up. He beat him 3 times last over, beat him first ball this over. Yeah, just playing it loosely with soft hands, relaxed hands, and it's just a bit too relaxed. It manages to go down and bounce on the stumps, but a wonderful innings. Played like Chanderpaul, gutsy, determined, lots of concentration and patience. A very fine young player. 273 for 5.
New batsman is Nayan Mongia, and Ian Bishop has due reward.
Yes, he's pitched it up a bit more today. Yesterday there were a couple pitched up and 2 or 3 short balls to hit, and he's got his just reward by a higher percentage of balls pitched up to draw the batsman forward. And I think if they bowl anything like from the start they've had this morning, getting 2 wickets, they could polish off India quite quickly for a very small lead.
Could be trouble. That's worth another look. And that's just what Steve Randell will do. He has the benefit of the third umpire, who has the benefit of the monitor. And this will be very, very tight. Remember that red is out and green is in. Can't believe that an umpire can make a decision here. There is drama at Bridgetown. There's murmuring around the ground.
Well, I don't think the umpire can give that out. He can't give that out because we can't see a clear view of the bails being broken because the umpire's in the way. We just can't see that clearly. And Mark's already said the batsman's got to get the benefit of the doubt, and if those are the pictures we have, then that's what the umpire's done quite rightly, giving him not out. There was no clear picture. The umpire was dead right to give the benefit to the batsman and give him not out.
In the air, and he's out this time. It's a super catch. The Stuart Williams is extra special. when it comes to catching the ball, and Nine Mongia had one release, he hasn't got another.
Well, this was a good catch. He had to get forward a bit. It's on the front foot, but he just spoons it in the air. And that's a very good catch. One of the hardest catches to take. He's coming forward, you're catching it, you're wondering if the ball's going to bounce and then hit you in the teeth. That was a super catch. 275 for 6, and West Indies on a roll.
Anil Kumble is the new batsman, and a nervous new batsman, I should think, too, because a crackerjack catch has got rid of Nine Mongia.
Watch the ground he makes. Oh, dear. That was a cracker. No, that was a top catch. We talk about catches being taken, coming over your head or over your shoulder when you're running backwards, turning round. But coming forward's just as difficult. Doesn't look as spectacular, but it was a brilliant catch.
Good morning.
India inching towards that West Indian score of 298. Ideally, they'd like a lead of 70 or 80. Won't be easy, because no matter who the batsman is out there in the middle, he needs his fair share of luck. Loud shout, he's gone this time. Just spending at that one outside the off stump. That bounced on Azharuddin. And West Indies would be delighted. They've had a superb day today, and Franklin Rose has struck again.
Well, there's not a lot Azhar could do with this. Good line, just short of a length, around off stump. And once it bounces on you, you just don't have a lot of time to get out of the way. You're committed to the shot. Well, he worked very hard. He didn't give it away. No disgrace in getting out to a ball like that. 295 for 7. They're just a little bit quicker than the Indian medium pacers, and once they're committed to the shot and the ball's a little quicker, you don't have as much time to get out of the way. I thought he fought hard anyhow. He didn't give it away, Azharuddin, which he has done on a couple of occasions. He worked jolly hard, and it's always really irritating when you've done some hard work and then you get a good ball that bounces on you.
It's not going to be easy for the tailenders now. The West Indian bowlers have their tails up. Terrific performance today. India resuming at 249 for 3. Now being reduced to 295 for 7. And that's too good for him finally. Out goes the middle stump. And the crowd love that. 296 for 8, the Indians.
Well, he lasted 7 balls, did Kuravilla. And what surprised me is that he actually got to 7. I think if one had been full and straight like that, the first one he could have gone at any time. 296 for 8.
So Dodda Ganesh comes out to the middle. And gets off the mark with the very first delivery. It's 297 for 8. So what a turnaround we've had here today. Terrific performance by the West Indies, taking 5 Indian wickets for just 48 runs. And this was the last one to go. Kuravilla having absolutely no answer to that one. Bowled neck and crop. by Curtly Ambrose. There is a man, a third man, Mervyn Dillon. Ganesh wanting two and rightly sent back by Anil Kumble. Kept saying, for a fast bowler, he's athletic and very quick across the turf. He's got a good strong arm too. That single now giving India the lead. So the 300 coming up, and they're leading by 2, but I'm afraid that's not quite enough. In the position they were yesterday, they would have hoped to try and get to at least 400. But obviously the West Indian bowlers had other ideas. And smash back by Kumble. Rose just getting his hands to it, but that's not enough. The ball will still reach the fence.
He's a good fighter, is Anil Kumble. I do like him as a cricketer. He'll stick it out and hang around as long as he can. He's got not a lot of ability with the bat, but he's got a strong mind. He's a tough little character. I think if ever anything happened to Sachin Tendulkar, he would be a good man to lead the team in his absence. Well, young Ganesh has been fancying himself as a batsman at the other end from Anil Kumble. I think it's, if you're a West Indian fast bowler, I think you've got to be thinking, well, it's time he had a couple of short balls into his ribs and see how he plays them. But they haven't got anybody catching on the leg side. There's nobody there to catch on the leg side, just the 2 slips and a gully.
It's out of the way of the fielder as well. Sherwin Campbell is in the middle of the action out there, and it's not going for him.
A bit wide of Sherwin Campbell on this occasion. Thick outside edge. I think he would have had to have wings to take that catch. Was a bit wide, but the ball is still flying in the air through that slip corner.
In the air and safe. Can't really believe it, Franklin Rose.
Nothing really going in too well for the West Indies at the moment. Dropped catch, another one going wide of the man at gully, and then this. Tried to get there, Ian Bishop, but not quite making it.
That's an edge, and that's the end. Resistance from Ganesh is over now. Rose strikes again.
Anil Kumble was imploring Ganesh to try and stay with him at the crease, but Ganesh getting a bit too adventurous here. Top edge on your bike, as they say. And Franklin Rose is a happy man. It's 3-1-9 for 9.
Venkatesh Prasad is the new batsman, 27-year-old, impressive fast bowler for India. This is the end of Ganesh.
Slashing at the square cut, and Michael Holding spotted that Anil Kumble was less than impressed. He put his hands on his hips, as if to say the plan was you hung on in there and I'd be the one playing the shots. Anyway, as it is, pressure now on Prasad. It's a pretty good start from Rose. The ball up to the bat and found a bit of swing.
Right up and right through. Very good delivery.
First part of Franklin Rose's Test career has gone well. Man of the match in Jamaica. Quieter game in Trinidad, but performed impressively with both bat and ball. And then more wickets here today. In the air, and that's it. He finishes the innings off. The Indians are bowled out for 319, and Franklin Rose finishes with 4 of them. He gets applause from Ian Bishop and from Shivnarine Chanderpaul. And Anil Kumble stays unbeaten, frustrated as well by the sudden loss of these last 2 wickets.
Good delivery again from Franklin Rose. Good pace. The ball just bouncing a little bit awkwardly there for Venkatesh Prasad. And Roland Holder taking a very simple catch, coming off the glove. Anil Kumble left stranded at the other end. I think he could have tried to have kept the strike a bit more though, Anil Kumble. So India get bowled out for 319. A slim lead, but a lead nonetheless. Lead of 21.
Well, they talk about a game of 2 halves, and that was very much an innings of 2 halves. While Tendulkar was in and going well, a big lead looked on the cards. But then on day 3, the last 7 Indian wickets fell to just 70 runs, and the lead was only 21. For the West Indian bowlers, the wickets shared around. Franklin Rose, the leading wicket taker, with 4 for 77, to enhance a rapidly growing reputation. Well, the Indians were bowled out midway through the afternoon session on day 3, and that really was just the cue for the real fun to start. Highlights of the West Indian second innings coming up after the break.
West Indies get underway with a leg bye.
Sachin Tendulkar will have to use his bowlers very intelligently now. He's just got about an hour or so before tea, so he has the opportunity to use all 3 of his seam bowlers, juggle them around if they are not happy or if they are not bowling well from one end.
It's gone through. Fast Kumble diving at Dunny, no third man, so that yields him 4.
Well, that really is a waste of runs. When the ball's moving around, you need to have protection there, because when the ball is new, it's more likely to go to deep third man when the batsman gets a thick outside edge than anywhere in the front. And if you keep the front open, then you're encouraging the batsman to go for the drive.
Long chase here for Ganesh. In the first innings, they actually completed all run 4s, and they'll do that very comfortably this time.
Well, Ganesh started off as if he wasn't very interested in chasing the ball. He thought that the ball had been hit firmly enough.
They've shown faith in Stuart Williams here. Brought him back for the test match in Jamaica. Obviously felt that he really still does have it in him, and he rewarded them with that 100 in Trinidad, but he's gone now. He's gone without scoring. A blow for India, struck by Venkatesh Prasad. West Indies are 9 for 1. Williams bowled Prasad without scoring.
Rahul Dravid got out, playing on, and this time Stuart Williams, surprised by the one that nipped back into him from Venkatesh Prasad. Very good bowling that from Venkatesh Prasad. West Indies have lost their first wicket for 9.
Shivnarine Chanderpaul comes in at number 3 in the virtual opening position now. There's how Williams went.
It's fine bowling from Venkatesh Prasad. He got the ball to leave the right-hander. So, in a sense, he had the batsman thinking that that is what he was going to bowl. Then he bowled that one that nipped back in. He's pitching it on the batsman's leg stump, getting the ball to leave the batsman outside the off stump. This one, he got back in. Stuart Williams trying to dab it down, beaten by the one that came in and then knocking it back onto his stumps.
Happy to receive one of those. Half volley and put away. Third 4 for Campbell. He's had 2 boundaries and an all-round 4.
A half volley is a half volley, even if it's a new ball. And Campbell certainly would be grateful for that.
Oh, that's very close, and he's given it out. And Chanderpaul wheeled away, as if to say, yep, I'm afraid I know I've gone. The only question in Randell's mind will have been whether it pitched outside leg stump. He decided not.
Not a very good shot at all from Shivnarine Chanderpaul. I would think it was a shot of a tired man. We'll have to see if this one pitched in line. Well, it's a bit difficult to see exactly where it pitched there with his body in the way, but certainly would have hit halfway up the mid-stump. Going back and looking to play across the line of the ball on that occasion, Shivnarine Chanderpaul. It's 18 for 2.
Brian Lara has come to the crease and faces Abhay Kuravilla. And immediately he's into line. There's pressure on the West Indies captain here because the West Indies still trail India by 3 and they've lost 2 wickets. Here's the second of them.
Shivnarine Chanderpaul had been batting for quite some time in the first innings. That would have hit halfway up, as I said. But the only question that umpire Steve Randall would have to ask himself is, where did that ball pitch? If it pitched anywhere outside the line of leg stump, it should not have been given out.
Lara will certainly pick up 2. He'll pick up 3. And that brings the West Indies into the lead for the loss of 2 wickets. That's a very strong scoring area of the West Indies captain. That whole region, square and behind square on the offside. It was interesting how he, as captain this morning, kept a squarish third man all the time. Four runs. Lovely clean off drive.
And the West Indies now ahead by 11 runs. And now 15. Crashing cover drive by Brian Lara.
But I think Lara will play the same way as Tendulkar did yesterday. If he gets any opportunity to score, I think he's going to whack it. He's going to try not to play a silly shot, but he'll realise, I think, that you can graft here and graft and work, and sooner or later you might get a pretty good ball.
And that's a beauty, and that's gone. He's done the trick for India. Lovely delivery there to take the glove of Shervin Campbell.
Well, that was an absolute beauty, wasn't it? If you're a bowler, you couldn't wish for a better ball. The line was perfect, right in the corridor, made the batsman play, bounced a little, gloved him, and I honestly don't know what Sherwin Campbell could have done to get out of the way of that. Very disappointing for him. He's been gutsy and played well, but nothing you can do for them, Sherwin. Just go and suffer your disappointment in the dressing room. 37 for 3.
For the kind of talent he has, that's a pretty moderate average. And that's crashed again through the covers. That went like a rocket into the fence.
What did you say about nicking one, Ravi? He nicked that all right. He didn't half welly it to the boundary. Watch him wind up for this. Oh, yeah. He looked like nicking it, didn't he?
Really climbed into that one, Brian Lara. It's moved on to 20 now. Like Tendulkar when India were batting, he's taking toll of anything that's loose. And again, and 4 more. Same result.
Another one nicked for 4. Yeah, I think he likes Mr. Ganesh bowling out there. You see how important it is. You've got to be on your toes all the time in a game like this. Runs are priceless. A lower scoring game. You let a player get away from you, and suddenly the game can change quickly if he gets in.
And pulled away this time on the onside. Dravid gets his hands to it. But Lara will still pick up a couple. So suddenly after a tight period, 10 runs coming. Just the kind of responsibility that a great player like Lara needs on his shoulders at this moment. To get his team out of trouble. Play a winning hand here. Well, so far he's done the right things. He's moved to 26. He's not wasted the opportunity of punishing a bad ball.
And that is a very good run. Carl Hooper saw the opportunity, came through for it. It was no more than 2 or 3 feet away. Lara was prepared just to stay there, and Hooper saw the opportunity and came for it.
Yes, very alert of Carl Hooper, because even Mohammad Azharuddin would not have been able to stop that, even if he was in the covers. Very well run by Carl Hooper. Very crucial to keep the strike rotating, particularly if you have a left and right combination at the crease. Makes the task that much difficult for the bowlers, the captains.
He's gone, attempting to do what Chandapal did and getting struck in front. The West Indies have lost their 4th wicket. Ganesh strikes for India, and real problems here now for the West Indies. Misjudgment by Carl Hooper, as there was by Chandapal. Up goes the finger.
But this is a poor shot from Carl Hooper. He had seen in the previous over from Dora Ganesh, the ball was keeping a little bit low, the ball rushing onto him, and he's been struck on the foot. The ball hasn't risen too high. He's declared leg before, and West Indies are 65 for 4.
Roland Holder comes in, last of the specialist batsmen to join his captain, to replace Carl Hooper. And that lead is only 44.
And Dora Ganesh had got the ball to keep a little bit low, and this is a poor shot from Carl Hooper. On a pitch like this, you do not play across the line. Try and play as straight as possible. And that ball would have knocked the middle stump off.
And that's nicely bowled if you're a left-handed batsman who's brilliant through the offside. Meat and drink for Brian Lara.
You just cannot bowl there. I mean, look at it, it's a long hop. You stick it out there to most batsmen, stick it out to a great batsman, you're going to kill you. And runs are so precious. I think 150, 70 will be hard to get last innings if West Indies bowlers bowl anything like they did today. The bowl like yesterday, then it might not be so hard. This is not an easy pitch, so you cannot give easy runs away. You must make batsmen earn every single one.
I think he's got a bit of a problem, Ganesh, if he's going to bowl to Brian Lara from over the wicket with just two fielders on the leg side. Problem is, as Geoffrey was saying, you can't give Brian Lara any width outside his off stump. Now you can pack the offside field, but mark my words, his placement and his power will defeat just about any offside field. You really want to be bowling very straight, and Glenn McGrath proved in Australia, if you come around the wicket and tuck Brian Lara up, you limit his natural ability to play on the offside, and you frustrate him into his less natural area, which is the leg side. Get him playing across the ball. And if you play across anything on this pitch, you're in trouble. That's a half volley on leg stump, and this time Roland Holder joins in the fun. They've got a problem here, India. Tendulkar doesn't have the backup that the West Indians do.
I think what Tendulkar will have to do is keep swapping the bowlers around. Maybe going to have to take Ganesh off, give him a rest for a few overs, stick Prasad on, and just move him around a bit.
Oh, I say. Now, he's had a bit of luck, Lara. You need a bit of luck on this pitch. For a minute, it seemed as if he'd under-edged it. And look at the face of Steve Randall.
I think Steve Randall knows that that was going to be plumb if he hadn't got some sort of bottom edge onto this. Oh dear, look at it. You can see the leg stump. Hit him on the... would have hit middle about halfway up. But, slice of luck. That's what all it needs. And the great players are away.
In the air. Got him. Azharuddin's done it. The end of Brian Lara, and Abhay Kuravilla has struck. What a find he is for India. No, it's Prasad. I apologise, Venkatesh Prasad. He's got him for the second time in the match.
Well, he's bowled very straight at him most of this over, and then he's thrown it wide, and he's gone after it. Didn't quite get across to it, and he's nicked it to the wrong man. If you nick it to anybody, don't nick it to Azhar, because he has wonderful hand. And what a wicket that is for India. 86 for 5.
Courtney Brown is the new batsman, the local Barbados boy. And here is the end of Brian Lara.
Well, he just threw it a little bit wide. Never quite got there, did he, with the feet? But, I bet when Azhar saw that coming to him, he thought, this is big for the game. This is important. What an afternoon for India, though. 5 wickets for 86. He just never quite got his feet there. He just tied him down nice and straight along his legs, then threw it wide, and aren't they pleased? I remember the other great left-hander, Garfield Sobers. That's how he used to try and bowl at him, and I say try, because it don't always work with great players. Bowl straight and tight, then throw it wide.
This is a cracker of a cricket match. Prasad had come on for his first over, and I got him all mixed up. There's a wonderful buzz around the ground here. It's 87 for 5. Oh, that's a beauty. Absolute beauty. Brown goes. I don't think he's happy. Lloyd Barker seemed to have no doubt, and neither did the Indians. Test match here is on fire.
That was an unbelievable delivery. It went like a leg spinner, like a leg cutter did that. He's made everything basically going. It pitched, left the batsman. I don't think he nicked it. I think it was just a wonderful delivery. I'm not sure he nicked that. Went like a firecracker. It'll say he nicked it in tomorrow's paper. 87 for 6.
don't imagine that Ian Bishop can believe he's coming to the crease with his bat in his hand. Look at this from Kuruvilla.
Well, I don't think he nicked that. I really don't think he nicked that. It was a wonderful delivery. I've seen people are given out before in the past because the ball has been such an absolute beauty that you know, everybody goes up for it. They're emotional, the state of the game. Now we're all watching the ball and whether it hits the bat. The umpire might have gone on the fact that there was a noise. Did the bat hit the pad? Did the bat hit the boot?
I think perhaps at the very beginning of the innings they were looking to get a score somewhere in the region of 250, 260. That would make India having to chase something between 240 and 250 to win this test match, which would be a pretty good score as far as I'm concerned, batting last on this pitch. But with the lead right now of just 70 with 4 wickets in hand, that's a long way away.
And he's gone, and it will be a long way away. 91 for 7, the West Indies. Prasad again doing the trick for India, again getting his leg cutter to go, and Roland Holder trying to cover drive, only managing to get the outside edge.
The Indian fast bowlers or medium pacers have bowled very, very well on this pitch. They have kept the ball up. Another well-pitched up delivery. Bit of sideways movement and a nick through to the wicket-keeper. That's the way you've got to bowl on this pitch. Keep the ball up, bring the batsmen forward, and the movement around will get you your wickets. It's 91 for 7.
And out comes Curtly Ambrose a lot earlier than he would have expected. And this is the reason why he's here.
You can see the seam going down the wicket there. Very upright seam, and the ball hitting the seam. Once you get that ball to hit the seam, it's bound to do something. And that's the end result of that very good bowling by the Indian medium pacers. Ganesh, Kuruvilla and Prasad all doing a very good job for their team.
Edged, and this time it's over the slips. Doesn't matter, all these runs important.
Very important runs these for the West Indies. Every run matters, but look at this delivery again. Reasonably well pitched up delivery, and movement of the seam and extra bounce.
Very difficult even for top order batsman to handle, leave alone someone like Ian Bishop. But after that ball went to the fence, the two fast bowlers had a chat with each other in the middle of the wicket, Ambrose and Bishop. They must be telling themselves there that let's try and get some total to bowl at. This match isn't yet over. He's given him. Just an appeal from Kuruvilla. The slips really didn't go up. Umpire Lloyd Barker has lifted his finger and decided that Ian Bishop is out. We'll have to take another look.
Well, he's certainly not following the example of his partner, Steve Randall. Ian Bishop pushing forward there, or trying to get as far forward as he can. Not really a very long way forward, but the important thing is whether that hit him just outside the off stump or not. But it's 95 for 8, irrespective of what anyone thinks.
So worried look on the face of the manager of the West Indian team, Clive Lloyd. And the reason for that is his team is in deep trouble at the moment. This is the last man to be dismissed, Ian Bishop. And rightly, Tendulkar now leaving the attack in the hands of two of his best medium pacers, Prasad and Kuruvilla. And Curtly Ambrose, like he did in the first innings, if there's anything that is pitched up, he's going to have a go at it. And he really got that in the middle of the bat for his first boundary.
I think this certainly has got to be the attitude now of the lower order batsmen. They have seen the balls exploding off a length. They have seen a few keeping low. No point in them just hanging about out there trying to survive. They have got to get some runs. They have got to give themselves something to bowl at.
Franklin Rose's dad. Oh no, brother. Sister, 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 brother. In the air, high in the air. Ganguly safely caught, and finally Rose's tactic of a sort of scythe has failed him. That's a tame dismissal. And what's more, it's 107 for 9, effectively just 86 for 9.
Well, he's been trying to play that shot to the onside. He played that well in the first innings. One terrific looking shot. This time he's just got the leading outside edge. Simple catch to Sourav Ganguly. West Indies 9 down for 107.
Mervyn Dillon is at the crease. Ambrose is on strike. Franklin Rose is back in the hutch. And Abe Kuravilla will bowl. Little prod by Ambrose. He elects to take the single.
Tendulkar's tactics working of keeping the fielders halfway, because this turned out to be a simple catch for Sourav Ganguly. If he had been in a run-saving position, he still would have been able to go because the ball was high up in the air. But at the end of the day, the tactics have worked for Sachin Tendulkar.
And as if by design, we have a half volley. My thanks to Mr. Kuravilla. Congratulations to Mervyn Dillon. The big moment really was when Lara was out and then Courtney Brown followed. He looked a bit unlucky, Courtney Brown. Here's Kuravilla. And it's a lovely stroke by Ambrose. Arrow straight down the ground. He really has batted well so far in this series.
This is a shot that Brian Lara would be proud of, because he's played it with such a straight bat. Not much of a follow-through. Look how straight he's played it. He's played it on the up, but he's played it absolutely straight.
Oh, it's chance and missed. It was hit very hard by Ambrose, and it's never easy. The bowler's coming down to his left side, which is his weaker side. Just surprised him, that's all.
He's hitting it very hard. He's middled it, all right. And Abe Kuravilla, not the swiftest of reactions in the team.
There's fine spirit in this Indian side. Fine spirit between both teams, actually, in the whole series, too. He smashes it down the ground. That's set him alight here at the Kensington Oval. It's 128 for 9. Look at this for a stroke. Just a good, clean, old-fashioned thump down the ground. I think Prasad and Kuravilla are tired. I don't know what you think, ex-captain of India. he's not tired at all. He's just warming up.
Massive hook. That's gone. That is gone.
Well, it's a massive blow, but I can't help feeling that this is getting a bit silly by India. The field is spread out, the pressure is off the batsman. All the good work is, well, certainly some of it is being undone here. Some funny and silly field placings.
That's it, all over. Well, would you believe it, what an anticlimax. A man who has played so many shots now gets out playing none at all. So all out for 140.
Well, what an extraordinary 46 overs of play that was. The West Indies all out for 140, leaving the Indians needing 120 to win the match. Top scorer was Brian Lara, but this was really all about India's hard-working seamers and Abhi Kuravilla, who returned his first ever Test match 5-wicket haul. Well, the biggest partnership in that innings was the 33 added by Ambrose and Dillon for the last wicket. Question now is, had they got the West Indies just enough breathing space to work an escape act? The Indians had to face an over and a half on day 3 before bad light stopped play, in which time they scored 2 without loss. So after the break, it'll be the climax of the match. Another 118 needed by the Indians, 10 wickets by the West Indies.
Big challenge here for Brian Lara in his first test as captain. Here's Franklin Rose.
The batsman will be very circumspect, a little bit unsure. The hardest thing to make yourself do on these sort of pitches, where the ball jags around, jumps at you, uneven bounce, is to make yourself be positive. And I don't mean necessarily positive in hitting 4 balls, positive in everything you do, whether it's defending, front foot, back foot. Oh, how do you play that? How do you play that? That's out. You have no chance of playing that. That's what I say about this pitch, it's a killer. Well, they struck exactly what they wanted, West Indies. And it's a big wicket. Well, ball Franklin Rose are pitching it up, but very difficult to play that, almost impossible. Little cuckoo catch at 3rd slip. Oh, 3 for 1. Dream start for West Indies there, 1 for 1 this morning. Well, that looks like a no ball, isn't it? Is that another one? Can't be, surely. Another no ball, gets a wicket. Well, yeah, you haven't a lot of time to play that, to do anything. The irregular bounce did for him. Poof. That looks a no ball to me. I don't know about you, Tony.
Yeah, it just seems to be over there. We're not exactly square on. And if he was over, he was marginally over.
Just over.
Hooper not being able to get around. And they'll pick up 3 for it. Well, the luck certainly is running with Latchman. Just over his head. Deliberately similar to the one which got Sidhu.
Yes, I don't think that lifted quite as much as Sidhu's. He didn't play it quite as well, but he got a big slice of luck, did young Laxman.
Oh, it's out. Really well bowled by Rose. Right in the slot. And again, I think glove rather than edge of bat. But Rose is the danger man this morning.
Yes, he is. And Rahul Dravid, when he looks at the replay, will say to himself that maybe, just maybe he could have dropped his wrists. But this is a very difficult wicket to bat on. It can get the best of batsmen out. Batsmen with good technique can be got out. Rahul Dravid is one such. He's out for 2. India 16 for 2.
Well, the match may well hinge around this man, Sachin Tendulkar, the 23-year-old captain of India. 51 test matches already, 92 in the first innings, and the player with the most natural quality in the world game, with the possible exception of his opposing captain in this match. He's at the crease because Rahul Dravid got a snorting delivery. Here comes Ambrose. 4. What a super shot that is from Latchman. Ambrose is back into the attack after just 1 over from Ian Bishop, and that was something of a loose nut. Latchman was onto it like a flash.
Well, that certainly has taken the pressure off, because India have just lost the wicket of one of their most accomplished batsmen, Rahul Dravid. See, just pushing out at that ball. And nicking a catch. There he is. He's just pushing at it. He has been playing it very well, just playing it in front of his body.
There'll be a couple here for Latchman. Nicely played too.
Yes, his feet are certainly moving a lot more confidently now. And it definitely seems to be more at home playing Ambrose from this end than Rose from the other end. Look at the way he's moving into the ball now.
It's 4 more. Interesting approach by Latchman, and a good one, I think. Ambrose switching to around the wicket, slams in the bouncer. And it's a lucky response, but he's benefited from his bold approach.
And could it be because he's now got the captain over there? I reckon that was a no ball too, because he bowled too far wide of the crease. Maybe the captain has told him, play your shots now, enough of settling down.
He's bowled in! VVS Lakshman playing all around it. This one was a delivery that was pitched up and went through his defence. And the West Indian crowd here ecstatic. India 32 for 3.
This is exactly what the West Indies want. A man that's going to pitch the ball up and keep it up. That's what Franklin Rose has been doing, and he has gotten the rewards. 3 wickets to Franklin Rose, 3 wickets to West Indies. India now 32 for 3.
So Saurav Ganguly comes out to the middle. What an eventful morning it has been so far. And this is the last man to be dismissed.
This was an excellent delivery from Franklin Rose. The ball was well pitched up. The angle at which he delivers the ball, Franklin Rose, it seems as if it's coming into it the right hand at all the time. It pitched in line with off stump, straightened and hit off stump. Excellent delivery.
Edged and taken by Lara. This is a big blow for India. Brian Lara has done it. It wasn't an easy catch. He had to move forward. But Bishop has taken the outside edge, and back goes the Indian captain. 4 down for 32.
That's a very important wicket for the West Indies. And Ian Bishop, the man that has bowled so well throughout this test match, again a well-pitched up delivery. Sachin Tendulkar looking for the drive, and Brian Lara taking a very good catch. Low down to the ground, but he got his fingers under it and held it well. It's 32 for 4, and India in deep trouble.
So all that experience will be required now to pull India out of the hole they're in. Mohammad Azharuddin comes out to the middle. This is the reason why he's there.
We're talking about keeping the ball up on this pitch. That's what the Indian medium pacers did, and that's what Ian Bishop is doing at the moment. Right up to the bat, Sachin Tendulkar looking for the drive, and there's enough movement there to help the seam bowlers. Very upright seam, and a very good catch by Brian Lara. That ball was dying on him. He had to get down, he did that, and held on.
Oh, that's a handsome shot. Short from Rose. Ganguly quickly in position and pulling him through square leg. So boundary of a no ball, and a welcome boundary for the Indians.
Very good shot by Ganguly. This is not the type of delivery that has been giving the batsmen problems. That was short, just rocked back, got right on top of it as well. Ganguly rolled his wrist and hit it straight down into the ground. There's a man at forward short leg, and it hit the ground before it even got to him. Right on top of it. Good shot.
West Indian bowlers so far have done a splendid job for their side this morning. Rose and Bishop. Bishop, it will be to continue to Azharuddin. Pulled away, but there is a man there just in front of square leg. Stuart Williams.
Brian Lara has placed those men on the onside because he knows that Mohammad Azharuddin is very strong on his legs. Another short ball pulled into the mid-wicket region. short balls have not been the ones that have been giving the batsmen problems. But those men in run-saving positions there. Very strong through the onside, Mohamed Azharuddin.
How India need him to play an innings here. Edged, but there is no third slip. And it beats the man at third man. Again, turning him around, Ian Bishop, opening up Azharuddin.
Very difficult to have them everywhere. That's the problem. If you're going to plug the onside, you can't have enough fielders to also have 3 slips. It's a matter of whether you're going to have enough faith in your fast bowler to keep it on that off-stump line.
And it's found the gap between third slip and gully. Might just pull it inside the fence. In fact, he couldn't make it there. Boundary to Ganguly. Just opening the face of the blade and finding the gap in that slip cordon.
That's going to be the problem now for the West Indies if they don't have a third man in place. Anything that goes through that cordon is going to go for 4. It's a very, very fast outfield.
That goes through Ganguly. That was pitched up.
Good delivery from Curtly Ambrose. Hitting the seam as usual, and once you hit the seam, it's bound to deviate.
That's a beautiful delivery. Very little Ganguly could do. Did well to get out of the way of that one. Just dropping his wrists.
Good reaction by Ganguly. When he saw that ball bouncing, he just dropped his wrist, turned the face of the bat, made the face of the bat less of a target. Could almost say allowed it to go through, but you need a bit of luck with deliveries like that as well.
He's bowled in. This time he's beaten the outside edge and found the off stump. So the tall man has struck. He looked good in this over and he's been rewarded.
Well, Brian Lara has tried everything with Curtly Ambrose to get him on song, and that was a beauty. Reasonably well pitched up delivery. Ganguly leaving a gap between bat and pad, and Curtly Ambrose finding that gap. 45 for 5 India.
So the Indian innings now in dire straits, having lost half their side for less than 50 runs on the board. To tell you more about it, Tony Kozia and Sunil Gavaskar.
And here is how the 5th wicket fell. Virtually unplayable. A little bit low, cutting back in from the angle. And the off stump gone. Clatter of stumps, which gladdens the heart of any fast bowler and would have gladdened the hearts of those here at Kensington and those West Indian supporters watching and listening. Well, I think the response is going to be predictable and typical from Mohamed Azharuddin. That'll go all the way. The outfield is very fast, as Michael Holding was just pointing out. And even though he didn't time that all that well, he got enough bat onto it that it went through the vacant mid-off position all the way to the boundary.
Well, he played very, very responsibly in the first innings, Mohamed Azharuddin, trying to get behind the ball. But over here, he knows that with 5 wickets down, if the ball is even a little bit loose, he's got to try and get as many runs as possible. This is the kind of wicket where anything can happen. We've seen the ball bouncing, the ball keeping low. The one that got Sourav Ganguly kept low, didn't bounce at all. It's not an easy wicket to bat on.
So 50 is on the board for India, but they've lost half their side. It'll just click over there to the 50 and half the side down, but just 120 to win. So you'll say that the West Indies perhaps barely have the initiative here, but that's not a big target by any means. No ball called by umpire Barker. So we've now had 6.
He is really charging in from this end, Curtly Ambrose. Getting just a little bit excited, trying to get an extra yard or two of pace. He's not going to be easy to get away for Mohammad Azharuddin.
That cut very, very low. Azharuddin could do nothing about it. Ambrose strikes.
What can any batsman do? All this while the ball's been coming at your face, and now the ball scoots around your ankles. Mohammad Azharuddin, like Saurav Ganguly, completely foxed by the pitch. India have lost their 6th wicket for 51.
Anil Kumble comes in. India have now lost all their specialist batsmen. Here was the last to go.
Well, you don't want to get too far forward to Curtly Ambrose on a pitch like this because the ball's been coming at your face. Azhar therefore waiting like Saurav Ganguly did on the back foot, and then the ball keeping low. What can you do?
Another no ball, so we've had 7. Second in the over. So there's the next man in, all ready to come out. Donna Ganesh is there. And that one keeping down low. Now this pitch, the characteristic for most of the match, and certainly yesterday and today, was that it was rearing almost perpendicularly. We saw Sidhu being caught like that today, and now look at these. Keeping down low, the one to Azharuddin as well, the one to Ganguly, not even carrying through to Brown. 57 for 6. Here's Bishop.
Bishop's bowling a very good line just outside the off stump. Perhaps too good a delivery for Anil Kumble, but Anil Kumble is a pretty player, and he's going to hang in there. What the Indians need to keep reminding themselves is that even a small partnership will take them close. What they need is 2 small partnerships of 30 each.
In the air, Holder's waiting for it. That's it.
While the ball's stopping on Anil Kumble, Kumble trying to work it to the leg side. This is that kind of a pitch. Ball not quite coming on. Ball bouncing, ball keeping low. Not too many batsmen would have flourished on this pitch, I can tell you that. Anil Kumble is a lower order batsman trying to turn it to leg, the bat turning in his hand, and that outside edge going as a simple catch to Roland Holder at square leg. India in deep trouble. 7 down for 57.
Batsman cross while that ball was in the air before it was caught, so that Nayan Mongia has the strike.
It's a ball stopping on Anil Kumble there. His bat face opening up as he tries to work it to the leg side. Simple catch to Rowan Holder. The pitch is doing everything for the bowlers. All that they've got to do is to ensure that they land it on the right spot. And the West Indians today have landed the ball in the right spot.
Oh, that's gone through him. There's a loud shout for catch behind, but Bishop walks back, started to appeal and then just turned around and went back without really appealing to Steve Randall.
I think this one came in and went between bat and pad, perhaps just brushing the pad on the way through. That was probably the sound that both Courtney Brown and Ian Bishop heard.
And a single here on the onside. That'll bring Ganesh on the strike. He looked pretty organized in the first innings when he came to bat at number 11. Number 10 rather. He's got a promotion now. He's come ahead of Kuruvilla because of that performance. That's nicely played. Was in control of that when he played it away to third man.
No problems at all with deliveries like that. Short outside the off stump.
He's bowled him here, leaving that one that came back and just kissed the off stump on the way. So the West Indians striking after lunch, getting the important wicket of the Indian wicketkeeper.
Nayan Mongia had been trying not to play at anything too wide of the off stump, but this one was much too close to leave. Perhaps he was thinking that not only the line that he was leaving, he was hoping perhaps it would bounce a bit. Came through at a normal height, just clipping the top of the off stump. 6 for 8.
So Abhi Kuruvilla comes out to the middle at the fall of Nayan Mongia's wicket. An error of judgment here by Mongia, just leaving that one, thinking it would bounce over the off stump or just miss it. Unfortunately for him, it just came back a bit, just kissed that off stump. See the bail falling off there, and that brought about his dismissal. So India now in dire straits, 66 for 8.
Those are the sort of deliveries that have been giving the batsmen lots of trouble. Beautiful delivery. Right up to the bat and just a bit of sideways movement off the seam.
This one played away in the air, should get a couple of runs here. Long chase for Rose. The Indians would look for 3, but Rose is quick. And he has a very good arm.
Lots of room on that onside. Rose had lots of ground to cover. And with the wicketkeeper chasing as well, there was no one left to take the throw. Lara being stung there by that return. Not as much as Kuruvilla has been stung though by Ian Bishop.
And this is nicely played by Kuruvilla again. Tempted Yorker, well dug out. And good aggressive running here by the Indians. And because of that direct hit and the ball ricocheting away from the fielder, they could complete the third run. 75 for 8. First target would be to take it 10 runs at a time, reach 80 first, then 90. Just think in your mind, if Dillon and Ambrose could do it, why can't we? It's in the air and just eluding quickly Ambrose.
So close and yet so far, says Curtly. It's a tall man, Curtly Ambrose, just got his hands to it. Again, Kuruvilla pushing at that ball that was short. Oh, how so close.
This time that's in the air and will be out. Roland Holder is the catcher. Curtly Ambrose doesn't usually take wickets like that. He has on this occasion, and the crowd have loved it. There's a mini invasion. I think that's too good for the game.
Well, Kuruvilla had got away with a similar shot a couple of deliveries earlier. This time he hasn't. Another simple catch to Roland Holder. Remember, he took that brilliant one to get rid of Sachin Tendulkar in the first innings. This is a simple catch. India 9 down for 80.
Venkatesh Prasad is the new batsman, and the man I feel most sorry for. Here's the end of Kuruvilla.
Kuruvilla had done all the hard work yesterday, bagging his first 5-wicket haul. But he really can't be expected to score runs on a surface like this. Ball stopping, not quite coming on. He is annoyed, he is disgusted. He was hoping that he could be a hero, hang in there and get India to the target. But that was not to be.
Here comes Ian Bishop to Doda Ganesh. Peals from the crowd, not from the players. And the still passive face of Malcolm Marshall. I wonder if that'll change to a grin if the West Indies tie things up here. Police are having to hold back sections of the crowd who want to burst onto the field of play. Marvellous atmosphere here in Barbados. That's it. The third Test match is over, and won in dramatic style by the West Indian Brian Lara in his first Test as captain of these great islands. Goes to hug his fellow Trinidadian Ian Bishop, who finishes with 4 wickets, and Brian Lara can barely believe this has happened. There's Courtney Walsh, there's joy in that dressing room. This is a brilliant effort.
And that was that. India's dreams of victory in Barbados blown away by the lethal West Indies quicks operating on a surface they could normally